Welcome to Pastor Andrew's Inspirations. Today we will talk about the biblical city of Cana. Cana of Galilee is the location of the marriage at Cana, at which the miracle of turning water into wine took place in the Gospel of John. The site is unclear, with the four primary locations being Kafr Cana, Khirbet Qana, and Rene in Lower Galilee, and Qana in Upper Galilee. The Arabic name Qana al-Jalil has been said to apply to a number of sites. The name perhaps derives from the Hebrew of Aramaic word for reeds. Among Christians and other students of the New Testament, Cana is best known as the place where, according to the fourth Gospel, Jesus performed the first of his signs, his first public miracle, the turning of a large quantity of water into wine at a wedding feast in John chapter 2, verses 1 to 11. When the wine provided by the bridegroom had run out. While none of the synoptic gospels record the event, mainstream Christian custom holds that this is the first public miracle of Jesus. The other biblical mentions to Cana are also in John chapter 4, verse 46. Which comments that Jesus is visiting Cana when he is asked to heal the son of a royal official at Capernaum. And John chapter 21 verse 2, where it is mentioned that Nathanael comes from Cana. Some pronounce the city name Cana. The book of Joshua states one city in chapter 19 verse 28 and one brook in chapter 16 verse 8 and chapter 17 verse 9 named Cana neither is likely to be the Cana or Cana of Galilee. In secular history, the annals of the Assyrian king Tiglath-Pileser III, who conquered the Galilee in 733 BC campaign, contain a badly preserved list of cities that had been thought to mention a certain Cana. It tells that 650 captives were taken there. Conversely, a revised transcription exposed the one well-preserved syllable to be ku, not ka. Flavius Josephus states more than one place named Cana. In the context of the Galilee, there are two references in his life. One is a place on the road from Lulius, and the other is a place where he resided about a day's walk from Tiberias. There has been much conjecture about where Cana or Cana might have been. In his gospel, the author makes no claim to have been at the wedding. Many would regard the story of the wedding at Cana as of religious rather than historic or geographical worth. It is the first of the 7 miraculous signs by which Jesus' divine status is attested, and around which the gospel is designed. The consensus of modern scholarship is that the fourth gospel was addressed to a group of Jewish Christians, and very possibly a group living in Judea province. So it is doubtful that the evangelist would have revealed a place that did not exist. There is a smaller view that the gospel was written for a Gentile audience, and those who take this view declare that the account in the passage about the marriage at Cana of 6 stone water jars there for the Jewish rites of purification does not reflect good knowledge of the actual ritual washing habits among Jews at the time. Is specifically for a Gentile audience who would not know the landscape of the Holy Land. On this theory, the name Cana or Cana might have some purely representative meaning. There are 4 primary sites which have been under reflection as the New Testament Cana. Upper Galilee, Cana, Lebanon. The village of Cana, about 18 miles from Tyre, Lebanon, is customarily held to be the correct site by many Christians, and is Eusebius's pick in the 4th century onomasticon. In times of peace, it is a popular tourist site, remembering the miracle. Lower Galilee, Kafir, Cana, Israel. The first time this site is related with the New Testament Cana is in a mid-17th century report to the Pope by Francesco Quarissimo, the papal emissary to Palestine, where he noted there were 2 possible candidates, Khirbet Cana and Kafir Cana. In the Catholic Encyclopedia, a custom dating back to the 8th century recognizes Cana or Cana with the modern Arab town of Kafir Cana, at the foot of the Nazareth Range, about 4.3 miles northeast of Nazareth. Some scholars trust, corresponding to archaeological evidence, that the identity of Kafir Cana was the result of the decline of Khirbet Cana, beginning in the Mamluk period. They note that it was a common practice for new and more affluent and easily reachable sites to be recognized in place of old ones to assist increases in pilgrim traffic, particularly in the late medieval and Ottoman periods. Karmaras, the western part of Kafir Cana, was recently excavated by Israeli archaeologist Yardena Alexandra. The excavation revealed evidence of a sustainable Roman village, with a Jewish population which declined considerably in the late Roman period. It was finally abandoned in the Byzantine period, explaining why the pilgrim route was shifted to Kafir Cana. Alexander believes the site is precisely identified by Josephus, but other scholars disagree. Karmaras, the western part of Kafir Cana, Khirbet Cana, Israel. Another potential candidate is the ruined village of Khirbet Cana, meaning the ruins of Cana, overlooking the Beit Netofa Valley from the north. It is located about 5.6 miles north of Kafir Cana and has been noticed by pilgrims since the 12th century or earlier. Though this could either be an ancient retention, as Edward Robinson maintained, or may have been attached to the place in conversation with querying pilgrims. This site is located on a limestone outcropping that rises 100 meters above the floor of the Bet Netofa Valley, 8 miles from Nazareth, and 5 miles northeast of Sepphoris in Lower Galilee. It also has long been recognized as the true location of New Testament Cana. Diggings by archaeologists Douglas Edwards and Tom McCullough reveal architectural and numismatic remains demonstrating that the site contained a modest-sized village from the Hellenistic period onward, 200 BCE to 650 CE, including a structure that bears similarities to Roman period synagogues and several mikveh pools for Jewish ceremonial bathing. Most importantly, they uncovered a cave complex on the south slope of the site that showed indications of use as a center for worship, including a sarcophagus, lid, or altar, and a shelf that held 2 stone vessels in situ, and space for another 4 vessels, suggesting that Cana was regarded as New Testament Cana or Cana from a very early time. Remains of an Arab village and a church or monastery were also uncovered immediately south of the cave complex. Other historical evidence from the Byzantine and medieval periods show that Cana was regarded as the true site of the New Testament Cana from a very early period. A guidebook written by Theodosius between 517 and 527 CE, titled The Layout of the Holy Land, identifies Cana and indicates that 2 of the vessels were still at the location. A pilgrim account written by Ceolwulf in 1101 to 1103 CE also identifies the site, as well as Ballard of Ascoli, circa 1155 CE, and Dominican Friar Burchard of Mont Sion, 1283 CE, and a map by noted cartographer Petrus Visconti in 1321 CE. Burchard of Mount Sion describes a cave complex located there that was used as a worship site. The place is shown at this day where the 6 water pots stood, and the dining room where the tables were placed. In Cana, Israel, just south of the town of Rennes, about a mile from Nazareth, and a small spring named Ain Cana was identified in 1878 by Claude Renier Condor as the location of Cana. Some early Christian pilgrim reports mention a spring in association with the Cana of Galilee, but no diggings have been conducted there yet. Ain Cana is pondered by some to be a better candidate based on etymological grounds. This is the biblical city of Cana or Cana. Adonai Nisi, the Lord is our banner. God's blessings be upon us all.